So in our animation process, I now have 12 frames, right? And we're at like this moment. And I've decided instead of making him angry and then getting angrier and angrier and his face melts, he's just going to get really, really freaked out. Like he has the ick or something. And now I want his face to melt, right? So now I need to spend some time away from the stage. So I save my stage and I'm on my assets. And I've cleared the combined frame, so I'm ready to set up my next asset. And the idea is I want this whole background to kind of slough down, like this weird kind of haunted thing. And as it does, his face is going to kind of slump down with it. So what do I need to like test this? Well, first I can get rid of my creature. I'm going to have him recede further into the background. So I find what a good pose is for that, maybe like this. That's good. Then I need to make a duplicate of my guy's face, right, which is luckily all right here. So I make a duplicate of it. I'm going to keep his shoulders where they are, but I'm going to start slumping his face down. Just going to move it like this, right, kind of down into his neck. And while I do that, I'm going to slump this background down. And I could do this with duplicates, which is probably safe. Like duplicate and then start moving it down. Now I'm trying to think, do I want to just move it down like this? No, I think I want to stretch it down, right? So Command T, and then I'm going to warp so it looks a little weirder, and it's just going to kind of sag. Kind of like I was moving the mist in the background. Now I can also play with the opacity of it so that it's not always exactly the same as it sags. And I can play with the head, and I'm going to start transitioning it a little bit towards being, with hue saturation, towards being less and less saturated. Okay, so that's a pretty simple change. Let's see if that feels right. And yeah, it does. Okay, so that's going to be my next frame. So I go to my topmost visible layer. I'm following the workflow. And I hold down Option on my assets, and I say Layer, Merge Visible. Then I say Command A, Command C. I go to the stage, Command V, paste it on top. That's my next frame. So far, so good. Now, Command D to deselect, and then delete to clear that combined frame. Let's build the next one. I'm going to duplicate the head again. And I'm going to start warping it. So I'm going to move it down once it hits its collar, and now I'm going to start warping it, letting it slump and fall away. It's kind of gross, but to reveal something behind it, to transform it, I need to build in a new asset. And am I ready to go right to my Skeletor asset? Let me see. I haven't even brought that in, so let me bring that in. That was from exercise 2. And it was this one, I believe. Let's bring in that PNG, right? No, I don't think I'm ready for that. But I can bring it into assets, and by the end, I want it to kind of look like this, right? And I'm going to make Skeletor laughing if I have time. So I'm going to make that magenta and just turn that off for now. But I'm working towards it. So it's sloughing, but then what other asset can I use? Well, I found these skulls. So let's bring those in, just from Pixabay. And I like that they're kind of dripping already. And now I just need, I'm only going to use the center one, but I'm going to grow it. So it kind of gets revealed as his head sloughs away. So what does that mean? It means I have to move it underneath the head, right? And I need to rasterize it. So I'll duplicate it, turn off the smart object, rasterize. And I only want the middle one. Duplicate that, delete those. And then let's see. I need to shape it more to fit my character's head. So let me just make my character's head a lower opacity, kind of onion skin it, and then warp this skull with my transform controls. Kind of fit it. And I want to reveal just a little bit of skull right there. Okay. Okay, now is that enough for our next frame? No, I think I need a little bit more. I need to move the creature maybe all the way back. Maybe even just, yeah, I'll keep it right there. And I want to play with the background a little bit. And I think I'm going to play with the color a little bit more. So let's see, do I want to keep it going that way where it's less and less saturated? Sure, why not? Okay, now I'll play with the color of the face. Go to hue saturation and take that saturation down even more. Maybe make him look just a little bit more sickly. Good. Okay, so go to my topmost visible layer, hold down Option, say Layer, Merge Visible, Combine Layer, Command A to select it all, Command C to copy it all, click on the stage, Command V, paste it in. Okay, so now I'm getting to the middle of my animation, right? And instead of using flame effects, I'm using this kind of weird invert background. Yeah. Okay, next, Command D to deselect, delete the combined layer, and keep playing with it. So I'm going to duplicate the head, and then warp it down. Kind of tug at it and let it slump. And as it leaves the bone, it's going to get faster and faster, right? And now I'm going to play some games with this background. Oh, you know what I did? I didn't, wait, let's see. Yeah, I didn't warp the background in the last one. I knew there was something. So I'm going to delete this frame. I have to rebuild it, but that's no problem because I made duplicates, right? And I got to slump that background. And I don't do it, and this is why. I make a duplicate first, and then I transform it. And I warp it, and I pull it down even more. So remember, you can check with your stage. This was my last frame. This is my next frame. right? So the background needs to kind of sync and change as well. And my creature does too. Yeah, all of that works. Okay, so let's do this again. Option, layer, merge visible. Command A to select it all. Command C to copy it all. Command V, paste it all. And even though I start losing my voice, like saying those commands over and over again, it's good, like this little mental checklist. So I get it all in. And now I'm starting to see the consequence of this jump scare, right? And I'm starting to get excited about how that transformation is going to be set up. Command D to deselect, delete, and then set up the next frame. I already have the head made, like that. The skull stays where it is, but the background I need to duplicate. I'm not moving the creature anymore. I'm going to slump the background down. Going into a pit of despair. And what do I want to do? I think I want to play with the color of the background in a different way. So I can play with opacity again. Maybe I move the opacity up this time. Command O will center it for you. All right, I think I need to make it a little fainter, though. It's a little too strong. Okay. So, this is my next layer. Go to the topmost visible layer, Option, Layer, Merge Visible, Command A, Command C, Stage, Command V. And I like to save it after that on the stage. Command D on the assets to deselect, delete the merged layer, and duplicate the face, transform it, slump it down, and it's going to go a lot faster now. It's just falling away. It looks like Bert from Bert and Ernie. And it reveals the eyes, which is nice. Slump this corner down a bit. Okay, and I might decide, since the eyes are getting revealed, maybe I want to burn those a little bit. Make those a little bit more interesting than just the clip art source. So I'm going to use these tool adjustments. I'm just going to burn the midtones for the eyes towards the middle. I might as well do that for both of them. There we go. So it goes from there to there to there. You see how it's falling more each time? Until I can just keep this going, a movement cycle, until eventually it's just going to release and fall. So we'll get to there. Now, I'm going to have some fun with this skull now. As it's starting to be revealed, I'm going to start moving it just a little bit. So this is how you get kind of shaky cam. You just kind of move things a little bit. You don't have to be exact about anything. They're just going to kind of twitch. And I just use my arrow keys often. So now, we're going to, just as we begin to realize that it's a skull, because this is all going to be moving, that skull is going to start to kind of hover in place so that the body can fall away eventually for the Skeletor. And, oh, that's another idea. And I can start coloring the skull. So I can go to Image Adjustments, Hue